This is Phenomenon, and welcome to Mythic Plus Made Simple. Thanks for joining, everyone. Today we're going to do an Academy 15, and on top of that, I'm trying something new. I'm playing this video back at 1.5 times speed, so I'm going to talk at normal speed, play it at 1.5 speed. So that means if you play this back at 1.5 speed on top of the fact that the video is going faster, I can't do math, but that's going to be faster. So anyway. All right, so I'm going to let this first pack of mosquitoes fly by because they go and target random people, and you don't want them beating up your group as you're gathering. I'm going to gather all 3 of the lieutenants, the vile lashers, because it makes all their little minions come out as well. We're going to make sure that it can get aggro, they're tightly packed, we're going to fire off lust, and we're going to watch this insane damage from this affliction warlock and this ret paladin. The Warlock is going to hit 1.1 million damage a second. The Ret Paladin hit over 800k. And look at the crappy damage of that Augmentation Evoker. Just kidding. No, he's the reason why everyone's doing such damage. I hit 500k. Aug's doing 250,000. We even got the Holy Paladin hitting 60k. So just massive amount of damage. Now right here you'll see that I'm targeting Vile Lashers, saying, hey guys, let's kill it, because you want to get these stacks of bleed managed so that your tank doesn't die. Alright, here I am quickly fixing my mod that shows what spells I hit. I've just added that due to popular request. By popular, I mean one guy mentioned it. All right, so we're going to stack here. Then when we get these little circles, we're going to move off to the left. Now, I wait until the second set of circles shows up before I move, because on the third set of circles, that's when they pop. So if we look here real carefully, 1, 2, 3, boom, those guys pop. So on the second set of circles, you can start to move, and that gives you this much smaller little half circle of stuff to deal with. Now, this ball summons this add, the Ancient Branch. You want to make sure to kick him, and then stand in this green puddle, because it's going to get rid of all of that poison. Boom, there it goes. Here we go with the circles again, rotating slightly to the left as we go. We're only filling up half of his, half the screen, half of his body, if you will, with those little hungry lashers, and we're going to knock him out. Single target damage is really good as well. So Affliction Warlock, haven't seen too many of those. I've seen them lately, haven't invited any. Happy that I did. Alright, so this is just this repeating pattern. Don't stand in the little brown looking circle as the ad is coming. Kick him, kill him, stand inside his green circle to get rid of this bleed. Now the Augmentation Evoker has 1 bleed they can cure every minute. That may help him, or maybe me, or someone in danger, but he can't clear everyone.
Defensive.
Alright, so there we go. That seemed to go about 1.5 times faster than normal. Alright, so here I'm going to show off how cool I am by jumping and turning, staring at my team. Alright, mini-boss. As the tank, wedge yourself in the corner and forget your camera angle existed, because it's going to go wacky here. His DPS, make sure you don't get hit by these tornadoes, and also he does this big blowback. If you're a caster, you can stand on the outside and ignore this mechanic completely, but if you are in melee, you've got to sit here, and I'm doing a courtesy by wedging myself in a new corner so that DPS has less to run from. Right, boom, there's that knockback. I stood inside a tornado. I can't see anything. We're going to smack this guy down. Really just wedging yourself in the corner. Don't get blown off the edge. Alright, now to the Lishram Arena. So, a bunch of normal birds. We're going to knock them out. Then it's going to send another group of birds with 1 guy. But what we're doing is there's these, up in the sky are these goals. And we're going to be collecting balls and throwing them up in the goals. All right, 1 pack of birds. Now when the next pack of birds comes, I got to figure out where they're coming from. I want to do some moonfires and other things to try to establish aggro, while at the same time my team is trying to see if they can steal aggro from me. It's kind of the name of the game. All right, we're going to make sure we get this alpha taken care of. I don't know what these little hungry eyes are. They're in my way, I'm not sure how to turn that off in the interface, because they're in my way all the time. I can't see what I'm targeting. I'm going to have to figure that out, or if you know what that is and you know how to turn it off, let me know in the comments. All right, so this time we have 2 eagles. It's twice as hard as the last one on paper. A big thing here is that they will do this breath move and blow you backwards. I don't think you can get blown off the edge if you're in the middle, but let's not tempt fate. We're going to knock these guys out and then on to the boss phase. Right now, damage still high for this little tiny group of birds. We're doing well. Now, also with an augmentation evoker in the group, you want to chain pull to the best of your ability, because they have different buffs, and those buffs stay active as long as they can hit things. Here I am reassuring the healer that no one saw him die. I guess now there's video evidence of it, and I'm a liar. All right, so here we go, Croth. This is a non-event type of a bird boss, so right now we're going to beat on him. People are going to get little white circles, and as long as you're not stacked on anyone, you can ignore the little white circles even exist. As a caster, he's got a little bar. Oh, actually, there's the breath move, so you don't want to be standing in that. And then he's also got a peck that puts a bleed on me. He's got another move that will silence the casters. So you should end up getting some kind of warning if you've got deadly boss mods or anything else helping you along the way. So right now, here is the ball phase. We're going to do the blue balls first. That's going to cause the arena. Let's see, right now these balls have little white arrows on them, but we're going to get these ones with blue arrows on them. The ones with blue arrows are a giant haste buff. So besides the fact that you don't get blown around, I think they give you 40% haste. So it's like having a free lust for this part. And then lust is typically on cooldown from that mega pull we do at the beginning, so that helps spread the time out so you can get lust on the next phase.
Phase change.
All right, so there you go. Here comes phase 2. We've got only the red one left. I'm going to grab the balls and toss them in. That is then going to result in him being stunned. We're going to whoop up on him. Lust is coming back. So there we go. We should have lust any minute. I believe someone calls for lust here in just a moment. There it is. Now we can beat this guy down. Now, you do get some reprieve from all of these beatings with those 2 little phases, but the longer he lasts now, the worse it gets for everyone. So you just want to try to kill him as quickly as possible.
Frontal.
Because it's just nothing but wind tornadoes and ground circles and him trying to blow people off. And the longer that goes, the more likelihood of someone messing up. But in this case, we did not. So we're going to head towards that waystone. That tells us where to go. I'm then going to waste 1 second by going around this way rather than the other side of the pillar. We're going to skip this first pack here. Be mounted up. That'll take care of if you have pets and all kinds of other things. All right, we're going to grab this and these group by the tree. Now, the trick here is that this worm, the Ravager, he's going to target someone and charge at them and then turn around and face the tank to do his blast. So you'll see I keep running off to the side. So here's that is, I'm running off to this side and then rotating back so the blast goes that way away from the team. So just be aware that as the tank, you are in control of who gets blasted where. I was in a group recently where they said stack on the worm, that way it's always going to hit the tank. I mean, no one can stack on it. You got casters that can't move. It was just kind of a nightmare. And then plus when we did stack on it, he just ran anyway. So just be aware that that's how the mechanic works, and you can take care of that for your team and help them die less. These corrupted mana guys, they do cast even though they don't have mana, just a miracle of nature. So make sure that you're able to kick them. You don't want to take that damage. And here comes another one of the vicious Ravager lieutenants. And you see there I am going off to the side so that it sprays off the edge. So those are the pro plays you can do for your team to help keep everyone alive, because everyone is really busy doing damage. They can't always stop for these mechanics and all of this other stuff to pay attention to. All right, so I'm going to whoop this guy down, do a few other examples of me pulling the blast off to the side. Help your team be in control by making sure they don't blast themselves. All right, that time I did it right on the little banister of the stairs, figuring no one could be standing there. All right, so with these guys, the unruly textbooks will put someone to sleep. We don't want them to do that, but we also have the corrupted mana guys that'll blast someone, and we don't want them to do that. So basically, as long as everyone has 2 or 3 legs, you should be able to kick all this stuff. I'm just teasing, you can't possibly kick all this stuff, but we do have our blowbacks, we do have our group stuns, we've got other interesting things, knock-ups, whatever you can do. But the big thing is, don't let those textbooks cast monotonous lecture, which puts you to sleep. There it is, monotonous lecture. So we're going to take these guys out. No one has fallen asleep. Damage is still good. Buff God is taking care of us. That is the augmentation evoker. Almost there. And then Veximus. Now, Veximus, I need to play around with this. When this was live back in Dragon's Flight, I seem to remember some cheese tactics of like pulling him way off into one of these back areas. I've got to try it again. I'm always interested in experimenting and doing new things. I've got a group of friends I play with where I'll be like, hey, what if we did this? And like, nah, don't do that. And then a week later, it becomes the standard.
Defensive.
All right, so I spam taunted immediately as it started because you have to, otherwise someone's going to pull aggro. On this guy, we've got these orbs that we have to gather, and the reason I'm marking this wind, this breath move that comes at me is I've had 2 dungeons in a row where the healer has run behind me and died, so I just want to make sure everyone is aware that this happens. But basically there's this pushback where he does his AoE. He's going to put 3 orbs on the ground, and that is typically where the tank gets launched and Veximus starts moving away from the middle. So you'll see when he does that AoE phase, I actually go stand right on the little tip of his tail. That way I'm not blown back as far. So everyone needs to get an orb, 5 orbs, 5 people, super easy. I gather 2 because, again, someone was really busy with doing some damage. They've got to drop these puddles off on the side and return back to the middle. There's the AoE move where he does 3 little orbs, and you've got to dance around them to stay close. I pride myself on the fact that we don't end up running all over the arena. As DPS, it's one of my pet peeves. I got to keep moving and adjusting. I'm dropping these puddles everywhere, and then I find myself somewhere else, and sometimes the puddles are in the way, or someone else's puddles are in the way. So the more stable you can keep this guy, the better. But it's really just repeat, repeat, repeat. There's the AoE blast. Don't stand in it.
Defensive.
Here's the breath. Don't stand in it. There's the orbs. Stand in it.
Spread.
All right, we're going to take this guy out and head on down here. I do a little flip 360 spin, no scope spin, to assert my dominance. Now we're going to grab both of these packs. Same thing, corrupted mana guys. Really, within all dungeons, you typically find 3 or so mobs that have something you need to pay attention to, and then those mobs are all throughout the entire place. And so for this, it's the corrupted mana guys. You got the those worms that attack and turn around and do the blast. And then coming up here, you got these big dragonkin folks that do this spinning circle. That seems to be like the theme of the dungeon. So I'm always looking for patterns of, what's the minimum amount of information I can put in my brain to understand a dungeon, and then just wing it from there. All right, so we're going to kick these 2 guys here at the bottom and attempt to bring them up to the top and fight this guy. And then now it's RNG on where this giant circle gets placed. A little spinning, little ethereal ghost guy. With any luck, he's not going to head right toward me, but he does, of course. So now it's this weird dance of, we got to kill these guys, but I'm separated from the team. But it's mostly casters, that's okay, but my poor paladin can't get to us, and so it's all wonky. Now, right now, someone pulls these 2 guys. I would have skipped them, I believe. I was trying to pull a little bit extra so that I didn't have to pull these guys. My big concern is I don't want this roaming pack that's coming around. So I've got to take a look at that and warn my team if they are coming, because again, they are super busy doing damage. Not everyone has the ability to look up and around, especially doing this much damage. All right, so we're going to take these guys out. Luckily, all of the circles, typically here, I'll go on one end, let the circles drop, go over here, let the circles drop, and I'll just kind of dance back and forth. And I like fighting out here rather than inside those little rooms because it gives everyone the room they need to operate. All right, so looks like we did need that pack that the augmentation evoker butt pulled, so solid butt pull. Now we're going to head on into this room with the last boss. I'm going to pull him all the way over here, and the reason why is when these orbs come out from here, they will disappear before they really reach about this line. So if everyone stays over there, you can kind of ignore those orbs that are coming at you.
Defensive.
The big thing here is this debuff, which also appears over here. When you get 2 stacks of the debuff, and you get the third, it never says a 3, it just drops a puddle. So the way you get these stacks is he will bestow them upon you. You'll run into these orbs, you'll stand into his ground circle, someone else will put their ground circle on you. So basically a lot of little tiny interactions. So I dropped my puddle back there.
Run out.
You gotta watch out when he does that suck in move, because if the dragon is on a puddle, good chance some are going to get sucked into that to take a lot of damage.
Defensive.
But basically I just want to rotate around the outside edge. It's a little dicey as we get here because we're so close to this puddle that was here by default. But you don't want to go too fast because then you'll have to end up circling the room, but a little too slow you end up standing your team next to all of this damage.
Defensive.
But we're going to do a pretty good job here of getting around. So we missed the +2, but we are still have plenty of time for the +1 on a 15 academy.
Run out.
With an amazing opening pull with 1.1 million damage. Yes, it was augmentation evoker assisted, but people only see the DPS meters. No one is gonna care.
Defensive.
All right, but so with this video, again, I did this at 1.5 speed. I rushed through it. I would just be curious everyone's thoughts on it. If you don't like it, great. Let me know if you think it's awesome. If you wish it was even faster, you could do it at 10 times speed. Basically, say hello and then sign off.
Defensive.
All right, we're going to take this last guy out. About 4.5 minutes to go on the clock. Plenty of time. I don't think I needed a bonus roll, so there we go. GG. 15 Academy completed. All right, thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And here's a few videos that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. We'll see you next time.